future in history. What's up, Carmel Rowe is in the house.
What's up, Robert? I can't hear you in my headphones.
You can't hear me? Well, we need to stick those headphones up a little bit over there. And we also got Alex Beltran in the house. She's running for the 4th Ward of San Bernardino and planning on a big win. How you doing, Alex?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we are glad you are here, and you've always been involved and around everywhere that I've gone in San Bernardino for the last probably 5 years, correct?
Yeah, 5 years or so.
Yeah, like I remember some of the first political events I was getting involved. You and Generation Now were roaming around the same kind of areas. Are you a member of Generation Now? Or?
Yes, I'm actually one of the co-chairs of San Bernardino Generation Now.
Okay, right on. An excellent group, and they've done a lot for this city, and I kind of talked about them a little bit the other day on the trash cleanups we used to do and stuff like that. And there's a new crew, the San Bernardino Beautification crew, that's doing something similar with that, and we'll talk about that a little bit in their good work. But overall, San Bernardino is freaking hot right now. It's been 100 degrees for like 50 million days in a row. I mean, I can't even keep my plants watered. So if you have animals, you got plants, go water them, because it's going to be hot tomorrow too and the next day. So go water those and water yourself. I've been reading this new scientific studies that say that if you're not hydrated, your brain is literally not working at 100%. And the hotter your brain is, you can go down 15 points in your IQ. So make sure you stay hydrated. And they're saying even a little bit of dehydration is super bad for your mental capabilities.
That's why I always tell people, man, I'm just too hot to think, and that's really true.
You get I call it being sun drunk. Yeah, it used to happen to us in archaeology all the time. We'd be sitting there working with the shovel in the heat, and all of a sudden someone will take their shirt off. And when you're in the middle of the desert, that's the first sign that someone has heat exhaustion. They take their clothes off, right? So once they start doing that, that's when you immediately take that person, you say, you need to drink water and go get in the shade, regardless of what they want to do. You know, usually they're like, I'm fine. Yeah. In the shade, you're going to be fine, you know. So don't be afraid to tell your kids, hey, go play in the shade, right? Because I just read an autistic boy died after being in the heat for 15 minutes. His mom was devastated. Now, how would you like that? It would make me so sad. So be careful with your kids. Be careful with your pets, and be careful with your plants. All right, now we got the heat-related stuff done. What's been going on in the city, Carmel?
I don't know. I've not been in the city, but
you took off. Where'd you go?
I went all around California. I literally traveled all of California in 5 days.
I saw you were up there at the Capitol there for a minute.
I was at the Capitol. I was in Coloma. I was in Vacaville. I was in Oakland.
Did you meet with the governor? Or?
No, we took a picture outside his office.
Oh, did you wave or what? All right. He didn't come on down and talk to you? He's like, didn't you run for mayor of San Bernardino?
No, the governor wasn't in.
Oh, he wasn't in.
Yeah, so.
He was probably working on the high-speed rail. Now, I have a little thing about that high-speed rail, right? It just started, and some people are like pretty negative about this, right? But I put it to them this way, especially Republicans. I say, Kate, you want something tangible for your money. So if you don't want high-speed rail, guess what you're going to get? People are going to get paid their CalPERS money, right? So if you really want to see something out of the money, go for some high-speed rail. If you don't, it's going to CalPERS. And CalPERS is like a huge black hole for money, right? And they're 25% underfunded. So guess where all this money is going to go if it doesn't go to high-speed rail? Going to go right in there into the CalPERS pot. So I would love to have some tangible trains that might start a whole new toy train revolution with the kids and things like that. So they love trains. So don't be so negative against the high-speed rail, because otherwise it's just going to go to pay CalPERS.
I'd like to have somewhere to go on it.
That'd be cool. Like I love to go to San Francisco on it and stuff like that. That'd be cool. I took the Southwest to San Francisco, and it was like $200 or something, you know. But Like, it'd be cool to take the train, too, and see the whole way up there and back.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm going to tell you. I haven't ventured, like, I haven't been through all of those places. Been through some of them in my life, but not like I was. And I'm going to tell you, from the beginning of my summer to the end of my summer, when I get off on the freeway in San Bernardino, I'm a little more devastated every single time.
Oh, man. You've been noticing that there's some things that need some help, huh?
Well, I've always noticed, Robert. It's just that when you
get
go
reminded.
well, like when you go to other places and they have things, like they have all these different kind of things to eat, and they have people walking around, like shopping or just outdoor. Like even if it's hot, people are outside and they're doing things, you know. And then some places aren't hot, but then like when you drive through them, like if you come from like the Murrieta way, you know. It's like all these places are new and they've been built up and they've done this and this and this and this. And like when you get to San Bernardino, we've really done nothing, you know. And then the last couple of days online, you know, these guys, I don't know if you've been seeing it, but Target is closing.
You've been going off. I seen Scott Beard going off. I seen Tim Prince going off.
No, but listen, I don't even need to go off because
Mark Kestemeyer too. I seen him too.
What Scott Beard said is that San Bernardino is going to take another 10 to 15 years. I take very much offense to 10 to 15 years, dude. When something could be done in 5. Like, yeah, you might have fully implemented, 15 years, but we could all see a better living style in 5 years if people only put together a vision and they only put together a plan. And I've been waiting for that. And nobody... I mean, consult, so I'm just like, honestly.
And when someone does come up with a good idea, for example, San Bernardino, the volunteers cleaning up and stuff like that, they just latch on to it instead of like, wow, let's make 10 more crews that.
I'm going to tell you that Fred Charette, he only reached out and gave a dang because it's election time. Like, come on, that guy's been going to the council meeting. How many times did he ask them to kick in the trash bill, and finally Burtek's kicking in the trash bill because now Fred Charette got a runoff with this girl right here? I mean, come on. He didn't care before.
And I got to give him a little bit because I see...
No, Robert, boo!
Okay, well, this is what I'm giving him.
Boo!
He was all against Burtek before, when he wanted Athens in there to do his dirty bidding. So like he's come around a little bit to Burtek.
Boo! Boo!
But anyways, yes, yeah. Like I think he's definitely he's been in there too long. I don't think he realizes that he's been in that war too long. And sometimes it's important to change and to try different things. You get complacent in an area, and then he doesn't even realize, because he's so stuck in his bubble, that there's a lot of people talking crap about you, dude. And it's not just me. It's about how you portray yourself and how you act around other people. In going to these events only when you want their votes, and then all the rest of the time for the other 3 years or whatever you don't even show up. And yeah, no, we could add them up. But that's where I want him to definitely change. Is don't just go to your favorite little Dr. Nag or whatever every single week. You got all those different fraternities, all those different clubs that you're a part of. You better get to be participating, and I better not just see your car out in front of some bar later on or some bull. I really want you, instead of going to the bar, to actually go to all these events and show that you love San Bernardino. Now, you are probably sitting here thinking right now that I do love San Bernardino. He doesn't know what he's talking about. You're blathering. Blah, 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 blah. Well, maybe I am. But what I'm telling you comes to me from a lot of other people. So just be aware that it's not just me blathering right here. And be aware, we're here to help Alex Beltran get there on the council. Why? We need change.
So let me ask you, how old are you?
I just turned 30.
Wow!
So if you're elected to be the councilwoman of the 4th Ward, like, what do you plan to do differently, and how do you plan to be effective?
Well, I definitely want to be accessible and be available to the residents if they have any questions or issues. And I definitely think we could apply for grants to help us fund different projects, because that's one main thing that I think is missing from the city. There's so much grant money available, and I have a background in grant writing.
Yes! That is
So
incredible!
So we could definitely seek these funds to help fund different programs.
How many grants have you written, Fred Charette?
Who ultimately put you up to this, or how did you ultimately decide?
It wasn't like a bunch of people came to me and said you should run. I've just been seeing all the things building up, and I just feel that the city could do better.
And grants are a big part of this. I mean, I can't tell them how much that I love when you bring in one grant. But let me tell you, I've been at other city meetings in different areas, and they come up with 5 or 6 grants each time. So to me, it's like, what are you doing, the minimum? Like, we don't need people doing the minimum. And I think that's why there's so much turnover in there. Because people just get in there and get their salaries and do the minimum. So when you get in there, are you going to focus on getting that free money from grants?
I'm ready to do the work and whatever it takes to make a 5-year plan. And
are you willing to read 935 pages every single week and make notes so that you can ask proper questions instead of just rely upon what some out-of-town consultant tells you?
Yes, I'm willing. I'm ready to read all the contracts, and I received advice from the candidate for governor, Jelaine Easton. She said that she actually went to the sites that were up for contract. So I'm willing to do that. Actually go to whatever site is up for question and see what's going on, instead of just relying on other people to tell me what's really going on.
And that's what we need.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Someone to get involved. And it's okay to read the agenda before the meeting. I mean, like, it really is. I mean, I do it and I don't get paid to do it.
You got to read it with a highlighter.
Oh, and then sometimes it's redundant and reads like stereo instructions, and sometimes they just totally blatantly leave everything out in the first, like they did last meeting.
Sometimes they make mistakes too.
I've been getting, just for the city, I've been getting lots of compliments on my last speech, so thank you, everybody. I had fun at the last meeting, and I do feel like I did a good speech. Even Carmel hit me up, and I've been getting hit up all over the city. I'm like, well, wait till the one that I'm doing not tomorrow, Wednesday. Wednesday we have a city meeting. Oh, we got, what's up, Paulo? You on the line? You want to put it?
I can't hear anybody.
You there, Paulo?
Hello?
Paulo.
Oh, now
Hi, Robert. Hello.
What's up, Paulo? How you been, brother?
Good. Hey, a couple of comments. I wish that Carmel would have been mayor. There's a pretty big sign that somebody put up of all places in Redlands, and it's the only one that hasn't been torn down yet, so maybe we can hope for the future. But,
Yeah. Hey, you're near all those fires and everything near Idlewild. How is that all right? Is that getting better? Or?
it burnt right up to 9,000 feet in the lookout that I worked in for years, so it's devastating.
Poor
But,
animals.
The point I wanted to make, Robert, is that I taught in San Bernardino for over 25 years. Margaret Hill hired me in 1983. And one of the things that I think San Bernardino can do, and I think it's the only thing it can do, I hear all these pie-in-the-sky ideas from Scott Beard. Give me a break. The only thing you can do is
Nice.
citizens of San Bernardino need to take back that base. The IVDA needs to be extinguished. They have taken $1 billion of grants and have done nothing with it. Margaret Hill and several teachers 30 years ago suggested turning that into a regional opportunity center. San Bernardino is a blue-collar community. You could teach kids, kick all the drug dealers that are helping Mike Ramos and all those other creeps there. That's the only thing that goes on at that base. San Bernardino citizens could grab that base, and turn it into the best business opportunity for kids in that class. So
Paulo, I think Greg Devereaux is part of the Ontario Airport board or something over there. So as long as he's got his fingers dabbling in the city, there's nothing going to happen over that airport. I guess we got FedEx coming in or something, but they're never going to really take off if we got a conflict of interest like that.
Greg Devereaux needs to go back to his Provo cartel. He's never done anything except destroy the county and help destroy the city.
Well, now he's slicing the city up. Cut this, cut that, cut this person, cut that person. Slicing it on up, and then, let's hire my friend consultant from Orange County. Woo, woo, let's make Orange Countyans rich.
Well, hopefully we can go to the new DA and let's kick some ass. I mean, all these creeps are part of an old colonies. So I hope you guys can do it. I'd really like to see San Bernardino get back on the counter again. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Paulo, come on, visit me for some coffee soon, all right? All right, team. Well, that's my good friend Paulo. He comes in, very few people are allowed at my house, and he's one of them. He's a good dude. So, but he really is quite outspoken, that's for sure. And he's been a regular calling in on the show for like 3 years almost. Wow. Real cool. All right, so what would you do inside the city if you were elected in your first week?
In my first week, I would probably go to each department and get to know everyone and see where things could be more efficient and work better for the residents. Because I feel that so many things so many decisions are made not considering the residents
and how we feel. Yeah, it's a lot of times it's made, the decisions I feel like are made even before the meetings.
So do you watch the meetings? Do you attend all the council meetings? What do you?
I watch them online. I used to follow Ryan Hagan on Twitter and keep up that way.
I have a picture of you at the last meeting.
I was there last week at the meeting.
We did see you over there at the 30 Under 30 Entrepreneur Awards last Saturday.
Yes, I was there this weekend at Assemblymember Reyes's event, recognizing 30 youth that are involved in the 47th district.
And there was some incredible kids and adults showing off their wares, like people that are really making a difference in our city. And they're young. Like, I didn't really even get involved until my late 30s. So if you're getting involved and you're 15 or you're like you're
like 11, Faith Melody Latin.
I think the youngest recipient was 14.
Yeah, Cynthia Fraser's son, and and he's been a star since I first saw him. Yeah, like he's been building his way. It's like the mini moguls, and he has all. But the best thing, if I took anything away from his speech at the end, was he was like, "Invite me back again next year." And then he also said, he said, "I'm about to sell my business." I'm like, what?
Yes.
Like, that's how you do it. Build a business up, sell it, make a new one, right?
Right.
That's a real entrepreneur. That's someone who's going to be successful because they already have the right idea. You know what you need to do with your business to build it up good. That's what people really aren't good at, is starting the business. So if you're good at starting and being an entrepreneur like that, start a bunch of businesses, sell them off, and make a new one, right? And I'm really proud of all 30 of them who received their awards. James Albert, I invited him on today. You know, he looks like, he's about 10 feet tall, and
he's everywhere.
Yeah.
you can't miss him.
And but he's a really cool guy, and he'll come up and shake your hand. And when I saw him go up there, I was just like, see, these are our future. Now, you should have been up there too, but you were right at the cutoff there.
Yeah, I just aged out.
Yeah, next year you're gonna be too old. Oh man, well maybe we'll make an award for under 50? So VJ Carmel could get in and on there, right? Like they were joking about making a show that was like
100
under 100, yeah, for the 90-year-old guy.
Oh man, so we could definitely take that up to the Women's Club of San Bernardino.
Yeah, there you go, and that'd be a fun event too. I mean, we could give some awards out, and we could keep it under I Love San Bernardino too. Yeah, bring them on the show here and make a big old deal out of it. Yeah, I just like that those people are being recognized for the good that they've been doing. So, Miss Reyes, thank you so much. I got to meet her husband this last event. He's pretty smart and a really nice guy. Yeah, we sat there and shot the shit for like, you got that? We got for at least like 10 minutes, man. And he felt like a real person. And when you talk to Eloise, she's like a real person. She's not throwing the politics at you. Don't tell me a talking point. I study those. And when you tell me one, you make me think that you don't know what you're doing.
Just be human.
Yes.
Yes, she's one of the few elected officials that I see that's actually out there in the community and talking to people and engaging with her constituents and has her ear to the ground and wants to know what's going on.
Well, where I met you first was at, I believe, Eloise's table at Paris Hill Park.
Yes,
Yeah,
I remember.
Yes.
I worked on her campaign when she ran for Congress in 2014.
We used to have a farmers market at Paris Hill Park, but I guess the city doesn't know how to do those types of things anymore for our area.
I could have swore that there's so much coming to San Bernardino. Oh my goodness.
It was cool, but and I was your opponent, right? I was working for Paul Chabot at the
that's
time.
right.
Yes, and I helped my fraternity brother ran for Congress, and I saw an opportunity to fulfill my oath of obligation to help protect my brother and help my brother out. And also, I got a chance to get involved in congressional federal politics, and it really opened my eyes. And it gave me a different understanding. Once you get involved in politics, team, you really start to realize, wow, I need to get more involved.
You can't just sit back and do nothing. You have to stay involved
and
stay fighting.
It's very hard once you know the truth to remain silent.
Yes, and that's why we speak up, and that's why we have this show, and that's why you need to speak up. You in the audience. I mean, come to our city meeting. We have one on this Wednesday. It starts at 5 o'clock. You just got that big black building that we don't use on D Street right there between 3rd and 4th right there. Is it 3rd and 4th? You actually go to the parking structure next to it and go up to the top. So you drive up, you do 4 floors, or you can take the steps. And there's another building on top of the parking structure that you walk into, and that's where our city meetings
It says
are.
201 on it.
It's hidden in the back.
It shouldn't be hidden. It should be accessible. Like, there should be signs telling you where to go.
Well, they don't want us to go to those.
You know, honestly, I think with modern technology, why can't we live stream on Facebook? Why can't we take comments from, Facebook? Why can't we, or Instagram, or all of the above? Why can't you have your comments and maybe open it up for comments for 30 minutes, from those type of media, and you freaking answer back. I mean, the number one thing that gets me just really ticks me off. One, we only got 3 minutes now. How can you comment on 935 pages in 3 minutes?
That's the reason they have that.
Right, but it's not fair, okay? It's not fair because to me that feels like you're in violation of my Brown Act rights because you are really conducting my business. And if you only give me 3 minutes to discuss how you conduct my business and I'm the only person paying attention, maybe there's 3, 4, 5, 10, but it's not like you have to be there all night because of us. You have to be there all night because you put 935 pages on the freaking agenda.
You have to be there all night because it's your freaking job.
You know what they told me when I was at the White House? They said, the Senate, they said they must be at all their meetings, and if they were to play hooky or call off, then they would send the marshals after them. And one person did that one time, and he went to the Giants game, I think it was, they said. And so they got the U.S. Marshals over there. They called him and said, oh, it's a family emergency. Can you come to so-and-so? The U.S. Marshals got him, freaking took him back and said, you have got to do your job. You took an oath of office to do your job, and you must show up, okay?
So when it's something contentious, I oftentimes see there's not a council person in a seat or two.
Like, they stop listening.
Yeah, it's like, wow, they don't want to vote on that, I guess. That's why they're not here today.
But sometimes, too, you know, I think it would be nice if you answered maybe some questions back. I mean, the city manager, she started to do, you know, this. But I think that it would be nice if the people that are elected could say some statements, because then you'd know that they read the material. And I feel like if the city manager is the only one ever answering, then I feel like you don't really know over here as a council person, and really you are the policy maker. Like, you are the one to direct the city manager to the plan that you have put together, and you are supposed to put this plan together based on your residents and your constituents and the feedback in which you get. And I'm sorry, but I've been paying attention here in San Bernardino for a very long time, and nobody ever listens to the residents. Nobody ever really gives them feedback. Like, maybe every once in a while or during election time you get something done. But overall, it's a really bad situation. So, you know, if you're the council person, I would like, you know, you to be able to answer those questions. Or, like, even if you couldn't do it during a meeting, hey, you know what, I'm available for 30 minutes after the meeting. I don't care if it's 12:30 in the morning. You know what I mean?
I also like that you don't know all the consultants. So you can actually come at some of these decisions objectively.
And, you know, they're going to try to threaten you. And they're going to call you up, and they're going to, you know, so you're going to have to be very prepared for those kind of things, because they have happened, you know. I mean, I'm not making this up.
It's dirty politics.
Yeah, and you're very young, and you're very pretty, and, you know, the system is very cruel, and you're very smart. A lot of your answers, like, that's what I would have said day one. I'm going to the department. I'm going to know you and you. What do you do? How do you do it? You know, show me the system. Show me that works. You know, then you can make informed decisions. But they are going to try to bully you. I mean, I'm sure you might know it now, you know, from running up again. Or maybe the heat hasn't really kicked in, but just be careful.
I'm ready.
Good, because it's going to be a rough ride, but that I wouldn't want someone who couldn't take a rough ride to get in there, because they need someone who with a new mind in there, that with new ideas, that can look at other people's visions and integrate it into your own. It's okay to listen to other people's ideas. It's okay to let others plant seeds, and you help them grow, city council. You know how many of my books I've given the mayor of San Bernardino? Now, he's not on my, I guess he's not even my friend on Facebook. Mayor's not even my friend on Facebook. And I friended him. I actually unfriended him. Like, I took my request away. But, like, I friended him, like, right when I friended Wendy McCamick. And that was my decision. I was like, I was going to support whoever friended me on Facebook first. Because I didn't care at the time. I just wanted to say Wildwood Park. Right? Mayor still has not friended me to this day. Right? So, hey, that's how I roll. All right, you want to be contentious and you want to be private, that's fine. But you know what? You are our mayor. You should be more involved. You shouldn't have someone running your Facebook for you. You should be doing it yourself, right?
You should just answer people. I mean, geez.
Yeah, or be
and if you
be
don't
accessible.
if you don't have the answer, say, "Man,
I'll
I
get
don't
back
have
to
the
you."
answer. I'll get it."
Yeah, maybe you're wrong.
Admit
It's okay
that.
to admit
Call
you're wrong
this
sometimes.
department.
Right. Yeah, or, you know, man, if you're wrong, like, hey, you know, my kid, sometimes I have to tell him, okay, you're right.
Maybe I am a little overzealous when it comes to cannabis. And maybe if I just looked at the civil war that's being created within my own Mormon church because of cannabis, maybe then you could see what's really going on in San Bernardino. Because if there is a strong minority in the Mormon church that's trying to get cannabis legalized, and it looks like it's going to go in Utah anyways.
What
right?
I want to know is what's wrong with cannabis and when we have prostitution. I'm sorry, but I have a problem with
I'm going to
that.
get into that right now. Okay. So on Friday, me and you got a text, right?
Yes.
Got a text. We need your help right now. Right? You were up in North Cali, right? So you couldn't come down. So I was like, All right. Shit, shower, shave, and shampoo. Get right in on it, right? Jump right in there. I'm ready. I was like, Stephanie Smith, I will be there. I'll meet Ben right there. Where do you want to meet? She goes, well, where do you need to meet? I go, how about let's meet in front of the mayor's office at City Hall, right? Okay, so I run down there to the mayor's office, City Hall. They have a lawsuit there for me to sign, right? This lawsuit is basically saying, hey, you can't just kick off the ballot initiative with a second count, right? So they did the first count and said it was okay, and then they proceeded to do a second count, which is unusual and not the norm. So we thought, well, maybe that Judge Cohn would be cool with, just accepting the first count and letting it on the ballot. It didn't turn out that way, and it comes to find out that they even got the Measure O one off there, and two, right? So it's a clean slate right now. The only thing that's going to be on the ballot is the tax things.
And you know what? They did that right there because they want to get the mayor reelected.
And
They
this
threw,
is going to be a cannabis election, team. I'm not going to let it not be.
It's not. That's what they cheated and they lied, just like they always do. And who's going to fight them? Seriously, who can fight them? I've been fighting them. I've been single-handedly fighting them. But who can really fight? The person who doesn't give up is the only person who can really fight them.
And that's right here. And let me tell you, it was a godsend. This is why it was a godsend that we lost that lawsuit. Because always in my head, I know it is better to run a cannabis campaign initiative during a general election for where the president is involved.
Not a midterm.
Yeah, always. Like, there's more conservatives show up at the midterms, and unfortunately, there's not as high of a percentage of conservatives that are agreeing with cannabis as disagree. So it's a good chance that we could have lost that ballot initiative, right? But in a general election, when the president is involved, the voters are going to come out of the woodwork. So let's make one with a lounge, Carmel. Let's get a lounge in San Bernardino.
The thing is, Robert, is that we can't wait till 2020.
I can. I'm going to wait, and we don't have a choice.
Yes, we do have a choice.
Well, how can we
I have a choice.
Well, I guess we do kind of have a choice. If we could get the council, because once that's done by vote, I think
Robert,
we could get
what
the council
nobody fails to realize is that this ordinance that the council is putting forward is not really real, and it can't really go. Measure N should be before Measure O, and there's still lawsuits going. And then I have another one that tells the judge, you got told no, you cannot come up with an ordinance after you got told no. And so if the city has a chance right now to come up with an ordinance and to put their own ordinance, like a real ordinance, to have the freaking people pass it, then they better freaking put it up now, and they better let the people want to pass it.
I think it's too late. Like, that's why there's no way we're going to get them to vote in a lounge.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you that it doesn't matter, because all we need is to follow California state law.
That'd be nice.
Because the city doesn't have the right to do what they're freaking doing. Look, you can't lose. Okay, let's just be real. That's like you and me, we run to be the mayor. I lose, right? Mm-hmm. And you're going to be the mayor, right? Except I'm the mayor. And you never get to take your rightful position.
Yeah, you're just like, we're just not going to let it happen.
I mean, you're right. Like, we're just...
It's pure obstruction, and that's what a lot of times other people that support
and then
the mayor don't understand.
Then we're gonna do a second count after the city clerk already certified, and it's too late, so we're not gonna give you any more time. Oh, we might give you some more time, but it won't go on the election this time. Oh my gosh, we're sorry because we screwed you. What kind of stuff is that?
So right now, there's probably 10 dispensaries opening a day. You don't get this?
Where? I haven't seen any.
Exactly. They're all hidden in the nooks and crannies. They're delivering from their houses again. It's gone black market full steam ahead.
And I'm going to tell you, I know that to be the truth, because I was sitting in my driveway about to get out, and this car pulls up in my driveway and asks for my oldest son, who is 21 years old. And I'm like, dude, who is this guy? this guy was delivering some marijuana. Okay, and I'm like,
I wonder if our city got some tax dollars off of that.
and I'm like, holy cow, I didn't even know they delivered marijuana. Like, now I know.
Oh, they're like, well, we don't have the tax thing on the ballot. No, if you would have listened to us 5 years ago, don't give me no bull. If you would have listened to us 5 years ago, this would have been all taken care of. But you obstructed and obstructed and obstructed. We had to make a radio show. We had to fight in the city hall. We had to actually go out and meet this community and become friends with all these people that were hidden in the dark alleys and now are stuck back in there again. Now there's a handful of people who are going for these new permits. And I can see them already having to suck up. And if you're sucking up now just so you can get a marijuana permit, shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shame
you know
on
who
you
you
for
are.
that.
You know.
Because that's not right to me. Because we've been fighting this fight with you. And just because you get a chance at one of these $8,000 permits, whatever the craziness it's costing, like, that's, to me, a form of discrimination because the real people involved in the game, since I was 15 years old, those people are getting left out. And that's not right to me.
Nope.
They love San Bernardino just as much as you do. But you treat them like they're scum, and they are not scum. In fact, you're showing yourselves to be scum just by supporting that kind of stuff. Now, go ahead.
I was going to say,
rant.
so if you become the council person, how do you feel about marijuana? And how do you feel about how the city has treated marijuana up until today?
Oh, hard question.
Well, I have said this before. I'm fine with dispensaries. I don't personally use, but I'm fine with dispensaries.
Have you ever smoked a J? Ever?
No.
Okay, that's okay.
But
I'm proud of you.
I'm fine. I'm totally fine with them as long as they're in commercial zones. Because my concern, as it is right now, they just pop up everywhere, and like you said, it's like prohibition, like era. You don't know where they are, and some of them are next to schools.
Yeah, they're like little speakeasies.
Or next to
smokeasies,
where young people hang out. And if we had them in a specific area or commercial zones where it's commercial only,
well, let me tell you.
then I'd be fine. I'm totally fine with that, and using the money to go back into schools and the public safety.
So let me tell you that this is what we would like to see, or me personally would like to see. I'd like to require the city just to follow state law and then have dispensaries or have, cannabis in commercial zoned areas and industrial light zoned areas, and then to put a tax on it. And me personally, I'd prefer it to be a special tax rather than a general tax. And I know that requires more people to vote, but I'd rather it not go into the general fund. I'd rather it not get sucked down the black hole. I'd rather it, be specific, like, hey, we're going to spend it for this park, or hey, we're going to spend it for this after-school program, or we're going to spend it on DARE, or we're going to spend it on some kids' teeth, or we're going to spend on the background.
We need to be intentional instead of just
you could still fund you could fund 100 different things in that pot. You just earmark 2%, 1%, 10%, 0.5%, 1 penny, 2 penny, 3 penny. As long as you earmarked it in that special tax, and I think if people you would get the 61% you need, and then it would be really good because then you'd kind of bring all the people aboard. You know what I mean?
We can do that. We can put that in the next initiative. We can put that special tax in the next initiative and go for that 2/3.
I mean, that. Truth be told, like, people need education about marijuana because some people have some crazy notions, and then some people know the truth, and then some people are coming out of the closet. But mostly when you knock doors, people are okay with marijuana. I mean, the city overwhelmingly voted. They just got duped by the city attorney's office and the mayor's office, and they just screwed marijuana up and put it played
They really
this game.
screwed it up bad. Now, with Colton sitting over there thinking, that's our whole new business plan. We're going to serve San Bernardino with delivered marijuana, and there's nothing our city can do about it. And in fact, they're going to start delivering from the high desert. They're going to start delivering from the low desert. They're going to deliver all over San Bernardino because they're going to have state licenses, and they're just going to say, ha ha, I got state license.
And see, like, here's the thing, right, is that they shut down a lot of marijuana dispensaries that weren't really illegal. And then they made an additional $400,000 in user utility tax. They got that money from people growing marijuana in the city and paying Edison. $400,000 is a lot of money. So if you think about it, like, that's just when people are, like, illegal. What about if you were legal? And, I mean, there's only going to be so many people who can do it. Like,
wait a second. That's not even accounting for all the home grows that people have. And, they're making a lot of money off of marijuana off the back end.
They are. I mean, but...
You don't realize that, Mr. Mayor? You get into your accounting numbers,
like,
hide in your numbers and go
we have the
figure that
highest
out.
user utility tax. Like, with so Stephanie Smith, her building, right? They had all that marijuana there. $67,000 a month for an Edison bill generates almost $6,000 a month in user utility tax.
That could fix a
How many
playground.
cops could that hire?
How many potholes?
How
could
many
it build?
potholes? Well, according to
Trash picked up.
what's his name, Danny Tillman, it only costs $150 to $300 to fix a pothole. So if we allocated that money to potholes for 1 year, I'm pretty sure we could fix them all. If we allocated. And that's just Stephanie Smith. What if we just allocated her $6,000 a month? Goes a long freaking way.
There's no vision when it comes to cannabis, but let me tell you, we're just going to force it on you, team. We're going to force it on you.
The city needs to unobjectively give it to the voters because they tried with the measures and then they weren't correct or
Right.
they weren't legal. So then they had that special commission, and they didn't like what the commission said.
They ignored them.
So they shut it down, but they never unobjectively asked the people in the correct manner what the
we
people
want.
And
Exactly.
This is a breath of fresh air.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. I mean,
are you councilwoman yet? We gotta do this.
Are you ready for this fight here?
yes, I'm ready.
You're ready. You got your walkers. You got your team. You know the number you got to have.
Okay.
You're ready to win.
And are you scared? Do you feel uncomfortable? You should, because whenever you're uncomfortable and scared, that
work
means
harder.
you're heading in the right direction.
It's a challenge.
Yes.
It's not going to be easy.
Exactly. And that's how you win an election. You go at it full bore. You just realize, okay, I'm scared. I don't know what I'm doing. This is funny. If you would have listened to Mayor Valla's speech over there when she was doing her book at the Historical Society, one thing she said that really sticks in my mind, on her first day on the job, she was wondering how she was going to make everybody else think she knew what she was doing, right? Right? And she was really scared about how Penman would feel. The Penman was a city attorney at the time for a long time. How he was going to feel about how Mayor Valles was doing her job. Well, then Penman stands up, and this is a Historical Society meeting at first Thursday of the month over there on D Street, D&8. And basically, he stands up and he's like, I thought the same thing. I was trying to prove to you that I knew what I was doing, right? So basically what they were both saying, and these two people I respect, they both didn't really know what they were doing when they're in there. They just had to do it. They had to make it work. They had to talk to the people. They had to really work it. And that's what I don't think some of the council people now understand. They think they know what they're doing.
Because you have to admit that you don't know. Because you don't know what you don't know. And if you really, you leave and you go somewhere else every day because you have a job, because you have to feed your family, because you only been making $50 a month, and a small car allowance, you don't really spend all your time in San Bernardino. You don't really see how much time did you really have to read 935 pages?
So I had to bring this up, all right? So I didn't make it to the trash pickup I woke up early too, team. I was gonna go beautify San Bernardino. I was ready to document it. I even had my work clothes on, but I messed up. Before I left Starbucks, I didn't go pee. All right, so I had to go pee bad, right? So I'm driving looking for this place. I couldn't find it. So I was like, man, I gotta go pee. I was like, you know how that feeling is. You can't think of anything, right? So I see an Arco right over there on 6th and 8th Street, right? I'm like, there's an Arco. I can go pee. So I fly on in there. Park real quick, run in there. And they're like, we don't have a restroom.
Yeah, right. Not right there, they don't.
I'm like, what? This is a multi-billion-dollar corporation and you don't have a restroom? That's absurd. And I go, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you employees, but does that not sound absurd to you? And of course, they didn't answer, but then immediately I'm running out. I pull in another spot, but it was packed. There was no parking, so I just rolled straight home, and that was my day. I was actually out of gas, and that was it. And I wasn't gonna, next week I'll be there. But I do have one thing: if you city council members would get on getting bathrooms in our establishments, especially a $1 million corporation.
No, Robert, where you were at, they can't let you in the bathroom over there. That's the worst part of the city.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
There'll be people dead in there, or homeless people showering in there.
That's the kind of thing they need to take care of. This is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. If they can't figure out the bathrooms and they just decide that we just don't get one because they can't figure it out, that's not an acceptable answer to me. And if you're a tourist or if you're somebody just coming through our city to get some gasoline, right, and you stop there and you had to use the restroom and they don't have one, there's nothing that's going to make you madder.
Okay,
and you may never come that place again.
So let me tell you, my office is at 325 West 6th Street in San Bernardino. And that's the closest gas station to me. And I've been going to run out of gas, and I'll drive to Mountain View and Highland. It's not until this last year that I finally would get gas there when they went to AM PM. So I'd have to say, Robert, that you're probably lucky they didn't have any restrooms because you don't know what might have happened to you when you were walking out.
I don't ever think that way because I am a regular at Starbucks every single morning, and guess what? I have coffee with homeless every morning.
No, but it's not.
And we have no problem. In fact, I shoot.
It's not the homeless that I'm talking about.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. These homeless people that are all around there, they don't have a place to go to the restroom.
Yeah,
and that's because this multi-billion-dollar corporation doesn't have a code that requires them to have a facility for a restroom so anyone can use it, but including the homeless. So basically, to me, it's a form of discrimination in our coded system. They should have a bathroom. Every place should have a bathroom. It should be people should feel accommodated. They should be able to stop here, use a restroom, and feel okay and roll out. If they're having problems with that, where's the security? Why isn't ARCO providing security for them? How do they get permits without having proper security?
Well, maybe they don't really make all that over there.
This is ARCO.
We got a call.
Don't grab that franchise if you can't afford it. That's how
5 minutes and we got a call.
Oh, we got a call. All right, caller. You ready for my rant or? State your name, caller.
Sure, Mr. Rower. This is Candaculia.
Who's this?
This is Candaculia. Can you hear me?
Oh, what's up, dude? How you been, brother?
Good.
You got a new cleanup this next Sunday coming up, right?
Oh yes, every Sunday, and that's why I wanted to ask your guest if she gets elected, what is she planning to do about to address the problem of the illegal dumping that we have in the city.
Yeah, Alex, what would you do to stop the illegal dumping in our city?
That's a tough one because it's just a constant issue. Because I know, as you said, when I was our San Bernardino generation, now we used to clean Secum Lake almost every week, and it was
different
just
vacant lots. They cleaned them
Do
all.
you have some suggestions?
Well, I'm working on it every Sunday, 7 to 10 different locations, and I already been speaking at the council meetings and I was at Robert's program the other day and letting the people know. So I think what we need to do is create, the culture in the city that we have to keep it clean, but this has to be at the top. So from the elected officials, they have to come up with solutions.
Like put the ordinance that says the fine.
If you get elected, what are you planning to do?
Yes, part of it is creating a culture and giving people a city that they want to be proud of, and that they want to clean up and not be throwing trash. People need to feel like this is their home and they're not gonna mess it up. That's one part of the issue, and then the other part is reminding people that it's not okay, that there is a consequence to this, and it's costing the city money to be constantly cleaning up.
It's costing this team money too that they're putting out of their pockets, and I really appreciate that. And just to let you know, dude, your show kicked butt and took names. We had more hits on that than almost any other show on KCAA last week.
And
thank you. But you know what? Something that I wanted to mention and let the public know. Last Sunday, birthday, got our trash that we pick up from the city for free, and they told us they're gonna keep doing it. So I wanna say thank you to Birthday because they're stepping up to the plate.
Right on, Bertek. Good for you for stepping up. And I heard Fred Shred had something to do with that. Now I hope it's not just because of the election, and he would consider doing that all the time. But I give you props for that one, dude. You got props for that one.
So let me
go ahead.
I was just going to say, as you've been cleaning, have you gone back to the original beginning spots, and have they stayed clean?
No, we have gone to the same place, and little by little it's less. I'm going to give you a spot that you want to go by. And like I said, I don't discriminate in the city. I go anywhere. 9 on Bubba. I have cleaned that spot 4 times already. And, but the good thing that every time we go back, it's less trash than the
first
time before. So maybe we're making progress.
And if we did have one code enforcement officer that was undercover, that knows that that's a dumping spot, because I'll tell you a dumping spot that's really bad is the end of Waterman. Like up there in the hills there, everyone goes up at the hills at the end of Waterman up in there and dumps everywhere.
On Harrison.
And on Foisey in front of my kids' school. It's horrible.
And a lot of this trash is like, it looks like it's coming out of some house that they tore apart and stuff. So these are construction workers, and some of it, I bet you could catch people and fine them up the yin-yang for it.
And we have an ordinance that has a fine. If we had these signs all over town, you might think twice about it.
Well, yeah, but if you don't enforce it, nothing is going to happen. So I think if we confiscate a few vehicles, I think that will send the message. But I would invite you to go with us and, help us clean. And, Robert, if you know any specific place, please let me know. And we put it on the list, and we'll take care of it.
Yeah, and I was going to say, put your phone number on the message, the next message you send me, so I can actually call you if I get lost.
Well,
and I didn't have to just message you. Hey, but dude, we gotta go. This is the end of our show, but we'll have all of his information up on I Love San Bernardino for the next cleanup this Sunday at 7:00. Right?
Thank you. Yes.
Right. Sir. And Alex Beltran, thank you so much for coming on the show. She's running for the 4th Ward of San Bernardino. Someone's been in there for 12 years, and we need new blood. We need a woman on the council that knows and loves San Bernardino, and that's Alex Beltran. Thank you, Carmel Rowe, for everything you do. And this is Robert Porter in the I Love San Bernardino radio show, and we are
out.
Say you don't know me. I recognize my face. Say you don't care who goes to that kind of place.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 106.